books. So we're still on the list that she's listing, and we're on number 8. So 8, my mother is the most stubborn person I know. After 5 minutes, she decided that she hated Oxford. The first week of term, my mother did nothing but sit in her room in a drafty stone building watching the rain fall on the cows in Christ Church Meadow, feeling sorry for herself. She had to heat up water for tea on a hot plate. To see her tutor, she had to climb 56 stone stairs and bang on the door until he woke up from the cot in his study, where he slept under a pile of papers. She wrote to my father in Israel almost every day on expensive French stationery, and when she ran out of that, she wrote to him on graph paper torn out of a notebook. In one of these letters, which I found hidden in an old Cadbury's tin under the sofa in her study, she wrote, "The book you gave me is sitting on my desk, and every day I learn to read it a little more." The reason she had to learn to read it is because it was written in Spanish. She watched her body turn pale again in the mirror. During the second week of term, she bought a used bicycle and rode around tacking up posters that said, "Wanted, Hebrew tutor," because languages came easily to her, and she wanted to be able to understand my father. A few people applied, but only one didn't back out when my mother explained that she couldn't pay. A pimply boy named Nehemiah from Haifa, who was in his first year and as miserable as my mother, and who felt, according to a letter she wrote to my father, the company of a girl was reason enough to agree to meet twice a week at the King's Arms for nothing more than the price of his beer. My mother was also teaching herself Spanish out of a book called Teach Yourself Spanish. She spent a lot of time in the Baudelaire library reading hundreds of books and not making any friends. She ordered up so many books that whenever the clerk who worked at the desk saw her coming, he tried to hide. At the end of the year, she got a first on her exams, and despite her parents' objections, dropped out of university and went to live with my father in Tel Aviv. 9. What followed were the happiest years of their lives. They lived in a sunny house covered with bougainvillea in Ramat Gan. My father planted an olive tree and a lemon tree in the garden and dug a little trench around each for water to collect. They listened to American music on his shortwave radio. When the windows were open and the wind was blowing in the right direction, they could smell the sea. Eventually they got married on the beach in Tel Aviv, and for their honeymoon they spent 2 months traveling in South America. When they returned, my mother started translating books into English, first from Spanish and later from Hebrew too. 5 years passed like that, and then my father got offered a job he couldn't turn down, working for an American company in the aerospace industry. Then they moved to New York and had me. While my mother was pregnant with me, she read 3 gazillion books on a wide variety of subjects. She didn't like America, but she didn't hate it either. 2.5 years and 8 gazillion books later, she had Bird. Then we moved to Brooklyn. 11. I was 6 when my father was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. That year, my mother and I were driving together in the car. She asked me to pass her bag. "I don't have it," I said. "Maybe it's in the back," she said. But it wasn't in the back. She pulled over and searched the car, but the bag was nowhere to be found. She put her head in her hands and tried to remember where she'd left her bag. She was always losing things. "One of these days," she said, "I'm going to lose my head." I tried to picture what would happen if she lost her head. In the end, though, it was my father who lost everything. Weight, his hair, various internal organs. 12. He liked to cook and laugh and sing, could start a fire with his hands, fix things that were broken, and explain how to launch things into space. But he died within 9 months. 13. My father was not a famous Russian writer. At first, my mother kept everything exactly as he left it. According to Misha Slavsky, that was what they do with famous writers' houses in Russia. But my father wasn't a famous writer. He wasn't even Russian. Then one day I came home from school, and every obvious sign of him was gone. The closets were cleared of his clothes, his shoes were gone from by the door, and out in the street, next to a pile of garbage bags, stood his old chair. I went up to my bedroom and watched it through the window. The wind sent leaves cartwheeling past it on the sidewalk. An old man passed by and sat in it. I went out and fished his sweater out of the trash bin. 14. At the end Your dad was a much better outdoorsman than I. Once, in the Negev, I saw him collect water from a funnel and a tarp. He also knew the name of every plant, and if it was edible. I know it isn't much consolation, but if you come to London, I will tell you the names of all the curry places in northwest London, and if they are edible. Love, Uncle Julian. P.S. Don't tell your mom that I gave this to you, because she'd probably get angry at me and say you're too young. I examined the different parts, picking each one out with my thumbnail and dusting the blades against my finger. I decided I would learn to survive in the wild like my father. It would be good to know in case anything happened to Mom, leaving Bert and me to fend for ourselves. I didn't tell her about the knife because Uncle Julian had meant for it to be a secret, and besides, why would my mother let me camp alone in the woods if she hardly even let me go halfway down the block? Whenever I went out to play, my mother wanted to know exactly where I was going to be. When I'd come in, she'd call me into her bedroom, take me in her arms, and cover me with kisses. She'd stroke my hair and say, "I love you so much." And when I squeezed, she'd say, "Bless you, you know how much I love you, don't you?" And when I got up for a tissue, she'd say, "Let me get it for you, I love you so much." And when I looked for a pen to do my homework, she'd say, "Use mine, anything for you." And when I had an itch on my leg, she'd say, "Is this the spot? Let me hug you." And when I said I was going up to my room, she'd call after me, "What can I do for you? I love you so much." And I always wanted to say, but never said, "Love me less." 16. Everything is remade as reason. One day, my mother got up from the bed she had been lying in for almost a year. It seemed like the first time we had seen her not through all the winter glasses that had collected around her bed, and which, in his boredom, Bird would sometimes try to make sing with a wet finger around the rims. She made macaroni and cheese, one of the few things she knows how to cook. We pretended it was the best thing we'd ever eaten. One afternoon, she took me aside. "From now on," she said, "I'm going to treat you like an adult." "I'm only 8, I wanted to say, but didn't. She started to work again. She roamed the house in a kimono printed with red flowers, and wherever she went, a trail of crumpled pages followed. Before Dad died, she used to be neater, but now if you wanted to find her, all you had to do was follow the pages of crossed out words, and at the end of the trail she'd be there, looking out the window or into a glass of water as if there were a fish in it that only she could see. I'm gonna stop for now. Check out my other ASMR videos. I have quite a bit now. Like this video if you enjoy this series.